Hello and welcome to the Knittin Kitten YouTube channel. My name is Mallory, otherwise known as JustADoseOfLove all around the internet. So you can find me on Instagram, Reddit, Facebook, and Ravelry under JustADoseOfLove and ADoseOfLove on Etsy. Today is a little bit different. Typically we have a bi-weekly knitting video podcast, but I wanted to take some time here at the end of the year to go through some of my favorite projects from 2020. So if you are a new viewer, welcome to the channel. Hello, nice to meet you. This is a very yarn-centric, creative YouTube channel, and I'm so glad that you're taking some time to join me today. If you're a returning viewer, hello again, and thank you for spending some time with me today while we go through some of my favorite projects. So I'm just going to jump right in, after I take a quick sip here, into the first project that I have chosen as one of my favorite for this year. So this was my reworking of my Origin of Love shawl, which is still unpublished. Tisk tisk to me. But this was the third knit up of this shawl that I had done. I'm just going to show you first. So I don't typically knit with greens, which is why this shawl is so special to me. Obviously, I bought the yarn, so I knew I liked the colors, but it's just very outside of the colors that I typically knit with. So this was a little different for me, and I just love how vibrant it is and how it makes me so happy every time I see it. It makes me think of some of my plants in the house. It makes me think of nature and all of that beautiful stuff. So here it is. This is knit up with Palindrome Knits on her Kisa fingering base, and that's this one here. It is her slime colorway, and it's a 70-20-10 superwash merino, cashmere, and nylon blend. Although it does look like she may have closed down her shop because I can see that there hasn't been much activity there in quite a while. There is a link in the show notes down below if you want to check it out, but like I said, I don't think she is an active dyer anymore, so that's incredibly sad, very unfortunate, because I do love this color. I have one other skein of yarn by her as well, and it's just gorgeous, so I can't wait to knit something up with that. This second color here, this is Essence of Autumn. She's a Canadian dyer. It is on her Prairie Sock base and is her Wymarsh colorway. So it's got all of these beautiful blues, different shades of blue, a little bit of a copper in there, some browns, and a little bit of green as well as some cream colors. And I thought it was a really nice contrast to the green. I thought they really made, these two colors really made each other stand out and complemented each other really nicely. So that is my first project. I will set a goal for 2021 to get this pattern published because it is one of my favorites. I have 3 of this shawl pattern now knit up, so I've got enough data that it should be written up. Yeah, so here it is. It's got a little bit of these little like snowflakey flower type lace, and then just some more delicate lace there at the bottom with a peacock bind off there. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite projects of the year. And thinking about it, I actually knit quite a few large projects this year. There was at least 2 shawls, possibly 3. At least 2 shawls, and 3 sweaters, 4 sweaters, like a lot. It feels like I didn't do a ton of knitting this year, but actually I think I did more than I did last year, which, you know, isn't saying much, admittedly, but today I am drinking some apple cider. So I threw some apples into the slow cooker yesterday, let them cook for probably 6 hours, which you only need to cook them for 4 before they're good, but 6 hours, and have been enjoying homemade apple cider ever since. I strained all the apples out this morning. They like get all squishy and pulpy, and I don't really like drinking apple bits in my cider, so strained that out this morning. And it is so good. It's one of my favorite cold months thing to do is make some homemade cider. And I have it paired with my West of the Fifth spiced shine, moonshine. So this is a local to me distillery. They make some amazing moonshine. They've got fruity shine and spice shine and espresso shine and all these delicious, delicious flavors. They also had a candy cane one for the holiday season, which I haven't been able to find yet. I thought it would go really great with eggnog, but I haven't been able to get my hands on any. So for now, it is spice shine in the cider. And it's delicious. Yep. Okay, next project. The Longbow Hood by Rhiannon. So this Longbow Hood I saw first on Amy, who is also known as Happy Little Yarn, her podcast, and I loved it. I loved it so much that I decided that I also needed to make one. And I made this up for Chris for festival season, which because of COVID did not happen this year, which unfortunate, but now we're prepared for next year, yay! So the Longbow Hood, here it is. It's kind of like a hooded cowl, I guess. There, I might just have to put this on to show you what it looks like. Okay. Oh my. Okay, so it's not perfect, but you can get a pretty good idea of what it looks like here. So yes, Longbow Hood. I knit this up in Knitpicks yarn. It is their Muse hand-painted base on the rooted colorway. The pattern called for 3 balls, but I ended up using 4, and I'm not sure if it's just because of how lofty this this yarn is, that it ended up just taking up that much extra, or I don't know, maybe my gauge was off. I don't think it is though, based on how it finished up. Anyways, it's 100% superwash merino, and this was knit up on my 4mm / US 6 36 inch / 90 centimeter circular needle. So here it is. And it is so warm. It's like 400 grams of merino on your head. Oh, definitely too warm to wear inside. Oh my goodness, look at all this. Okay. Definitely too warm to wear inside, but basically will be perfect for festival nights because it's always camping and there is always like misty, dewy fog in the grass once the sun goes down, and it gets pretty darn chilly. And of course we tent, so there's no heater, so it's good to stay warm. It's basically 4 days of camping and lots of loud music. There it is. This was definitely one of my favorite projects to make up this year. There's also a nice little I-cord that actually acts as a drawstring. And one of the things I am most proud of with this project is how perfect this seam is for the drawstring. So when you knit it up, you knit it and then you fold this portion here and seam it so that your drawstring can go in there. And I am just so proud of this seam, ridiculously so. So much so that I was talking to Chris about it and he's just kind of like, because he doesn't knit, so he doesn't know. But there's no way that seam is ever coming apart, ever. it will outlast the drawstring, almost certainly. So there's my second favorite project. Not my second favorite. These are in no order. I'll show it to you a little bit closer so you can see the different tones going on. In this colorway, there's almost some greeny yellows, and then in some spots it's almost a greenish blue. I just love it. I think it's spectacular. All right, next one is my ease sweater. So this was actually my second knit of the ease sweater. The first one that I did, my gauge was off, which it tends to be, so now I'm really good about swatching. But the first one, my gauge was off, it's a little big, and I did the cowl neck. Oh my goodness, gotta sneeze. Oh, sorry about that, sneeze. All right, so I did a cowl neck. This time I did not do a cowl neck, and I knitted up in acrylic yarn instead of any sort of merino wool blend, which is great because I can throw it in the washer and I can throw it in the dryer and I don't need to worry about it. So here it is. That's the back. Okay, here's the front. And this is my first sweater of the year. And dare I say it, the sweater that got me hooked on sweaters. There it is. It's got a really nice loose scoopy neck. I did 3/4 sleeves instead of full sleeves, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. It's a little loose, which is perfect, basically exactly what I was aiming for. So there's a little bit of positive ease there. This was knit up with Lion brand yarn. It is their color number 147, also known as Hot Springs, on their Heartland base. And again, 100% acrylic yarn. I ended up in US size 8/5mm needles on 90 centimeter/36" circular needles. So here it is. And I think this is actually my favorite project of the year. I am just so happy with this sweater. I am. I think it's gorgeous. The yarn I actually was gifted from my friend Tamara, who was going through a crocheting phase, and then much like me, bought a bunch of yarn, and there was some that she wasn't going to use. So I was fortunate enough to take some of it off of her hands. All right, and last project I almost forgot about, but my looming project. So some of you may know I was gifted a loom from a incredibly generous and very nice lady named Betsy this year. It had been her mom's, who was a fiber crafting enthusiast, and she, by the things that I saw, she was absolutely amazing at it. She passed away a couple of years ago, unfortunately, so Betsy this summer decided to give away some of her yarny things and crafting tools to people who would use them, and I happened to be one of those people, and I ended up with a table loom. So my first looming project, not the practice project, the first real project, and I just want to show it to you. I almost forgot about it because this is a holiday gift for one of my family members, but here it is. There's a couple things I would change if I wanted to do it again. One is the transition here. I maybe would just go with this into here as a transition and that's it, but it would be really nice, I think, actually to have an entire scarf made up with just this pattern. But here's the whole thing. And it's made up in mystery yarn. I actually have no idea what the composition or brand or colors, other than the obvious, is for this yarn here. So it's orange and brown. But that's the best that I've got. So yeah, there it is. and I really need to set up my loom again because there's another project I would like to make, another scarf. I've already got the pattern chosen and the yarns. I have just been really lazy about getting it all warped up. So for anyone who doesn't know what that means in the looming world, it's when you get all of your long strings set up. You have to get them set up through in a very specific order for the pattern, which I'm not explaining very well, but I don't think I can explain it any better than that. So sorry about that, but here it is. And I'm actually really glad that I got this video going because I completely forgot that this should go in a gift box and it almost wouldn't have made it. So there we go. Scuff. And it's gonna be so warm. Oh yeah. I like it. I think she'll like it too. Anyways, that is the end of this video. And like I said, I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to go through some of my favorite projects from 2020 because it has been quite a crazy year, but I am always a fan, this year more than ever, of reflecting on the year and thinking about all of the progress that was made and the good things that happened instead of all of the crappy things, and just kind of, you know, see how far you've come. And sometimes it doesn't feel like you've come very far until you actually take a minute and look back and see where you were last year at this time and all of the things that you've accomplished since then. And I think that's really important to do, so I like to do that when I can, and this is part of that for me, part of that process. So thank you so much for coming to spend some time with me today. I hope you have an absolutely spectacular rest of your holiday season. Happy New Year. I hope you get to spend it with all of the people that you love. If not, because of this COVID world that we live in, I hope you get to do that soon or get to talk to them in Zoom calls or anything like that, and do all of the things that make you happy, because we all need a little bit of that once in a while. So I will talk to you soon, and until then, stay warm and safe and healthy and cozy. Bye. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with string. These are a few of my favorite things. Ooh. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudel, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things.